The following broadcast is a Nighthawk Network presentation. What up, though? What's going on, y'all? Your boy EB's in the building with my man, the guru, the myth, the measure himself, young Hugh Lee. What's going on, Hugh?
What's going on, E man? We was talking, man. It was funny how most of the week it was nothing going on. It was super dead. Then all of a sudden, man, Monday it started to pick up, and it got real crazy the last few days, man. And we were a little disappointed because we was like we was gonna drop on Wednesday if something happened. Nothing really happened, or it wasn't enough that happened. Man, we get to Thursday, some of everything happened. And I was like, yeah, man, I wish they could have got all this stuff together yesterday, and that's where we at right now, man. We decided to do a special Friday edition of Game Time Audible for y'all, man, to get y'all caught up on things.
Absolutely. It's been a lot going on in sports these last few days, so we felt like we need to come on in here and discuss with y'all. We already got people checking in the building. What up, E-Buck? What up, Trace? What's going on, fam? Good to see you, my guy. Make sure you shout out Trace. You see it. You see it, you.
Yo, what's up, Trace, man? How everything going? Definitely glad you joining the show with us, man.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, we got a lot to get to. We doing 90 minutes today, so we ain't got no time to waste. Let us go on ahead and jump on in it. What's up? What up, Hugh? What we starting today?
Man, I want to jump into a lot of the stuff that was going on in football, man. I'm just glad that we was able to try to get a show together and get together with the free agency and some of the trades and stuff that's going on right now. There's going to be a lot of that stuff going on, man. I think it's going to get to the point where it's going to be so crazy when it finally starts. I think tomorrow they're going to basically start making the willing and dealing, and then the 16th is going to be official. So it's going to be a lot of stuff being posted, man. Check out that Peer to the Game too. I'm gonna be on all that stuff, man. But it's just really interesting to see what's going on. And I wanted to start and say, and I got to start from my team perspective. A little pissed off with the Patriots, man. How come they let guys who are top caliber players walk, man? They don't even give them a chance. Like you spent all that money on free agents, man. I'm not even trying to be funny. I felt like they overpaid for Aguilar. Matt Judon was a good one. What's up, Trace? I just didn't like some of the things that they did, man, as far as the trade perspective, man. The two tight ends was actually not too bad, but I was like either one or the other. But when they got two for the price of one, I didn't complain. But man, it's like they always do that, man. That happened before. I don't know. I think you remember this, E. The time when Asante Samuels, man, when he was the odd man out when they went for that Super Bowl run, you pay Ladarius Thomas and you pay all these other dudes like no disrespect to Randy Moss, that was a hell of a pickup. But they paid a lot more people, the Wes Welkers and guys that they put on that roster to try to compete for a Super Bowl. I forgot about their in-house, talent, and it seemed like they do that a lot, man. I feel like if you were an owner right now, would you let J.C. Jackson even walk, man, when he was not even like just the best cornerback y'all had? But at some point, man, in his career, now he's starting to play better than Stephon Gilmore did in his prime.
You basically let whoever you want to let walk when you are Bill Belichick. Remember, we talked about the GOAT of coaches, the greatest of all time. And one of the things he's hanging his hat on is the fact that he is good at developing players. That is why oftentimes he will utilize these free agents for a year or two and then cut them loose. Either at that point figuring that they were no longer of value or that he could develop somebody else to take their spot and keep the party going. I really believe that the reason why he let a lot of stuff go this particular time is because he plans to invest heavily on the draft picks and developing the draft players. And with what he has right now, he is not giving up on the division. He knows that he has enough to at least compete in that division with Buffalo. But when all is said and done, he is going on his past record. That is why he has chose to let that go. He's been doing it, like I said, for as long as you've been a Patriots fan, man. It should not come as no big surprise to you. I understand.
It don't, because Buffalo is going to take that division for the next 3-4 years.
You would think.
Yeah.
You would think that's the case. But again, I think in Belichick's mind, he still think he got the goods. So, yeah, what else you got, Hugh?
I've seen a lot of people get released just recently, man. And I know you've been hearing it. I see that the Cowboys right now are trying to get way under the salary cap. They just restructured Dak Prescott contract. They wanted to do to Marcus Lawrence. He said no way. So he's going to be released. Amari Cooper, definitely one of the casualties, are going to be released. La'el Collins, man, it's a surprise, but they're shopping him right now. And if they can't get any suitors, they're going to get rid of him as well. And I seen my boy for the Washington Commanders, man. I got love for this guy because he's from the Alabama. My boy Landon Collins, man, they about to release him. I mean, everybody trying to get their cap space right now, and they trying to get under the cap, or they trying to develop or get more players on their team via trade. And right now, it's a lot of players that's out there, man. Like to get Chandler Jones, man. He about to definitely be one of the casualties soon as well. But I'm just really excited, man, because I want to see where these guys go and where a lot of the guys end up, man. I could talk about that all day, but I want to get to some of the vocal things that people probably knew and wanted to discuss. First off, did you think that the Denver Broncos, when they got Russ, gave up too much?
Truthfully, Hugh, I was hoping that was the first thing you brought up. In the end, a lot of these deals get made every year. Some people, they upgrade slightly. Some people, they downgrade slightly. We talking about some of the long-term big money moves that's going to make or break people, okay? Understand, this time last year, the Rams made the big money move. They said, damn that. We want Matthew. What you want? Lions like, give us this, this, and this. They was like, deal. They made it happen. They made the moves. They cashed in the Money in the Bank contract. They got the Super Bowl, okay? People are seeing that now. And it's like, if the Rams could do it, we got enough people here, we could do it too. So I think that's exactly what Denver looked at. They looked at the fact that, yeah, we got a solid defense, we got a running game, we got some good young receivers. All we missing is that quality quarterback to get us over the hump. Let's see who we can get. Look, we want Russ. We want this, we want that. What y'all want? Well, Aaron Rodgers, that was one of the possible candidates. Aaron played the Aaron game.
Yep, he did.
Like, look, we tired of Russ. What you want? So, yeah, some people look at it like, damn, they got 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, 5th-round pick, tight end, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, they got all that. But they felt like they had what it takes to overcome all that because they want to win now. Remember, a lot of these owners, Hugh, they look gray in the tooth, okay? Most of the people that own NFL franchises, they're in their 60s, 70s, 80s. They want to hold that trophy up now while they still got arms and legs and limbs to be able to, here we go, we won that bitch. So that's what this move was, okay? Denver went all in. Good job, Denver. Handle your business. Because, most of these draft picks, they don't necessarily work out to be great players, okay? Think about the Lions draft picks all these years. All these top 10 picks we done got over the years. How many of them panned out to be any good? It took Matthew Stafford 13 years to get to his Super Bowl, and he was the number one pick. It took Ndamukong Suh about 10 years to get to a Super Bowl and win one, and he was a number 2 pick a couple years later. You see what I'm saying? So just
Yes,
because
sir.
you got a top 10 pick don't automatically mean you got something good. Think about what the Lions doing with these picks we got right now. At this point, Rams definitely won that trade. We'll have to see how it play out in the next couple of years. But at this point, if you want to win now, you do what you got to do to win now. Because I promise you, that's only one blockbuster deal. We all still wait to see what's going to happen with your boy over there in Houston. And once he
Yeah,
figure out
yeah, I'm really glad you mentioned that.
deal. So
I'm about to jump into that right quick too, because my boy, they found he was not guilty on none of them counts that they were saying in court, man. And that's huge right now for Deshaun Watson because that's leading to teams wanting to trade for him and him having leverage to go to where he want to go. And at the same time, Houston is trying to unload and get them some ransom draft picks as well. Because let's be honest, that guy a couple years ago, before all these allegations started, was an MVP candidate. He didn't really have much at all, man, and still put up huge numbers. So if we get that same, Deshaun Watson out there playing for another team, which I know it was a lot of quarterback needy teams asking for him. It's kind of funny to me that the Carolina Panthers was one of them. I'm like, man, y'all just okay. I guess the more the merrier. They just keep loading on quarterbacks. I heard Tampa was in the sweepstake, and there's a couple other quarterback needy teams wanted to talk too. I
And
think
I
when
need
all
one other team to add their name to that mix. Damn it, Detroit Lions. If y'all don't get Deshaun Watson, y'all got all these extra picks from the Rams. Make that shit happen. They would
they
love that
definitely
dude in
need
the
the
deal
quarterback.
because beyond what he went through with the whole sneaky stuff, we know that dude's a good dude. Remember his work with Households for Humanity and all of that. Remember what he did in the lunchroom for the ladies in Houston right around the time of the pandemic. There's a lot more good in that dude than bad. We didn't have worse players here. Hook that up, make that happen, and then go on and use this year's draft picks to put some stuff around him. Okay?
Because I definitely guarantee you he could have won at least 7, 8 games just with his talent alone here, man. That's definitely something that they should keep their eye on because we keep bumping our head and making mistakes when people are out there. And that's the reason why we're in the situation we're in.
Like I said, we done
Man,
tried it every other way here in Detroit. We might as well go for broke, dog. They
the
want
Aaron
four
Rodgers
draft picks.
deal.
Give it to them.
How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers getting that deal? Do you think that they overpaid for this guy, man? Because I feel like he on his last leg. He got constantly getting injured, and it's to the point now. Hey, he got to play until he was least up there in Tom Brady's stature, man. I think that contract lasts until he's 42. You think that he have it in him to try to at least out of this contract win one Super Bowl? Because he ain't no way in hell win 7. So let's be honest. You think he can win another one, at least one more?
Hey, Ron, to suck up all y'all, okay? He knew what he was doing this whole time. When he was saying all that yah last season, before everybody was like, yeah, I don't think he's coming back to the Packers. I think he's serious. I don't think he's going to play for them. Then he came to training camp first day, and nah. Next thing you know, it was all water under the bridge. Kumbaya. They all playing. Then, of course, when the whole I'm immunized thing came up, he played that out in the media like, we'll see, now you're going to do me bold, and now they're going to let me be MVP because of this. No, played that just right, got the MVP again. And now, of course, that man knew the day he left off from the playoffs to go fishing, he was going 1 of 3 places. And he was just going to see how they played it out. He had no intentions of not coming back to the Packers. If that was the case, a couple weeks later, he'd been like, I ain't coming back, period. Let the bidding begin. Acknowledge me. But no, he didn't play it like that because he knew that either he was going to go to Denver or he was going to come back to Green Bay. And whatever one he did, he was going to get that money. And that's exactly what happened. But of course, he had to play it like that because he needed Green Bay to acknowledge him. So
I
he
thought that
wanted
was
to make
smart
sure
too.
that they did what they did and get Devontae Adams on the tag, which they did, to make sure that he gets signed. So you got your number one receiver that you're very comfortable with. And once all that happened, suddenly, minutes later, here comes the announcement of this big old deal. Remember, they had already offered to make him the highest paid quarterback in football. But no, he wanted to see how serious they was about keeping it. Because remember, he was mad in the first place because they drafted Jordan Love. And we all know now Jordan Love is garbage, trash, terrible. So he played that card. And now he's like, okay, now y'all see what y'all got without me. What you gonna do to keep me and give me all the money? Because after this, I'm out. Because bottom line, Aaron Rodgers don't give up about winning no more Super Bowls. He
He
already a
got
Hall of Famer and he already getting money. That's all he really care about. All A.A. Ron care about is A.A. Ron.
what I like too about what Charles Barkley said. I know you heard that, man, and I think a lot of people agree. I don't care if you're a fan, but the people who aren't fans really soaked that in when they was asking Barkley how he felt about Aaron Rodgers, and he said he's insecure, man. He's that pretty girl who always got to be told they're pretty. And
That's
that's his whole
exactly what it
attitude.
is.
Man. And he don't really care about, like you said, winning anymore, long as his pocket's winning. That's how I feel, unfortunately. I don't think.
Bottom line, we know how it played out in Green Bay for his predecessor, Brett Favre. He wasn't going out like that. He was
Mhm.
gonna make sure that, yeah, you're gonna show me the love you didn't show Brett, one way or the other. Because in the
Especially
end,
when
I know I'm pretty, but I need y'all to know I'm pretty too.
especially when that riff came about, man, going into the season. That made it a lot more interesting. And a lot of people feel like he was going to tank after that first game. But then look at him, man. Number one seed. They had that opportunity to get the bye, and a lot of stuff kind of fell over that, man. It was like a domino effect. But in the end, smart move for him, man. Hell, I think that if anybody can play spades, man, or be a chess champion, it's definitely A.A. Ron. Congratulations for your contract. All right, man. He pretty.
Shout out to Pastor Sean Love checking into the program. What's up, Pastor Love? Good to see you, sir. But yeah, absolutely that. When all is said and done, he just wanted the acknowledgement. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get some say so and player personnel. You know, he wanted that too. So when draft day come, you better believe they're gonna draft a couple receivers, a tight end. They're gonna draft what he want. Okay.
And they told him he was the most beautiful girl in the world.
Mm-hmm. And we're gonna prove it by breaking you off this money. Now, of course, they said it's a $200 million deal, 130 million guarantee. He came out and said, "Nah, it ain't quite that." But trust me, it's something very close to that, y'all.
If you want, I'm glad you mentioned that, man. I'm about to go to my sports page, man, and I'll kind of look into that contract to see what it's all about. Is
Okay,
that
what,
kind
what else you want to talk about in regards to
Oh,
that?
man, I want to talk about your boy too. Yesterday, I didn't think nothing was going to really happen, and it got to the point where it died down somewhat. I was getting tired of hearing speculations and teams eyeing Bobby Wagner and all that stuff, man. I just felt like there's no loyalty in the game, and it's all business. But when you want to make your moves, people look at you and they look down on you when you do that. But when uh, GM make a move, they love them for it. Oh, that's good for the franchise. And I'm with you. I wish that the Lions will go all in on the
Absolutely.
quarterback.
Like I
Yeah,
said, we
because
didn't try to do it in the draft. We didn't try to do the free agency. It's time to make the big move now. I want Martha to see somebody win before she goes to them pearly gates, man. Go ahead and handle that. Remember, all we need is one really good team here in the D, and downtown will be popping.
how do
But
you
yeah, go
feel
ahead.
about my man's trade yesterday? I looked at that and I said, sometimes these big time guys and the flashy names in free agency, they look good on paper, man, but they don't really last. Unfortunately, with him and his reign in Chicago, the defense was always lights out, but the offense was pretty trash and they didn't get it together, never enough to where both sides can compete and win a championship. But to see now, this is this man's third team. But I really think that this was something big because we always have awes and we gloat about the kid over there, Justin Herbert, and we talk about how talented he is in that offense. Big ups to Mike Williams too for getting his 3 year 60 mil. Keenan Allen need to get something now out of that too as well. But getting back to the topic, Khalil Mack goes over there, and not only is he going over there, it's like once Russ went over there, now you got Khalil Mack over there on the defense that was always solid, and now not only do you got to double team, you can't double team Joey Bosa now because you got that man on the other end, dude. So I feel bad for a lot of the people who feel like Kansas City was going to run away with it. I'm not saying that's still their division or it's still their division to lose because they won it prior in the last few years or so. But it ain't gonna be easy this time, man, because now you got those two guys over there, man. Y'all can't double team everybody. How do you feel about that deal or that trade?
You got to understand, we looking at the toughest division football that's seen in about a decade. You got Denver that upgraded with their quarterback
Mm-hmm.
status. You got San Diego that came out that close to making the playoffs. You got the Raiders that's still going to be good. And of course, now you got Kansas City, and it's not a done deal that they automatically going to win from this point forward. That's going to be the toughest division in football for the next 3-4 years. You got a whole bunch of young or relatively young quarterbacks. You got some good defenses over there. They probably will make out very well against teams outside of their division. It's within the division that's going to tell the story there. And definitely you're going to need somebody that's going to be able to get after the quarterback. You got basically Herbert, who is just a man child, 6'6", big old arm, whatnot. You definitely got Mahomes and what he can do over there in Kansas City. And you want to chase after Russell because he can scramble with the best of them. So you're going to need everything you can get. And we done seen how something like that would work. We done seen that in Tampa Bay where you put Sue on one side and Pierre Paul on the other side. We done seen it when Sue was with the Rams. And you had him and you had the big fellow over there.
Yeah, Donald.
Those definitely work. It's just a question of what the chemistry going to be like. And don't forget about they got James over there too now.
Derwin James, I ain't forget about Derwin James.
Anchor the backside of the defense. So, yeah, it
Yeah,
can get real scary.
I can't wait to see that, man. That's going to be something to watch, man. That's going to be a team a lot of people all of a sudden going to start getting on their bandwagon too, man. It's already people starting to drink the Kool-Aid with Justin Herbert, but with that defense now, they always had a solid defense. I just felt like Melvin Ingram didn't pan out. I think he was too small, and they should have used him more like a linebacker versus an end. I think it only worked at one time with what was my man's name? Elvis Dumerville. Remember that name? Ain't that a blast from a bad guy?
I do.
And he was such a beast with Denver, man. He was a little dude, but he could get after the quarterback. So that only works a dime a dozen, man, with the little fellas. But I just feel like now it's gonna be dangerous over there, man. Like with the Derwin James, and you got now the two guys of the edge rushers, and they got a really good strong safety. It's gonna be something fun to watch over there. And like you said, man, they're coming out to Kansas City, so they better try to get some upgrades, especially on defense. Where do you think my man's Bobby Wagner's going to end up, man? If you had to say one team, where do you think that he'll be once the 2022 season begin?
Quite honestly, I don't care so much about Bobby Wagner. He is a decent defensive player at this age, but he will not be the dominant force that he was back when the Legion of Boom was the Legion of Boom. He will basically be a helper on somebody's squad, but I don't see it to where we're going to be like, dang, Bobby Wagner's taking over the game. He does not have that type of skill set anymore. That's why Seattle was ready to cut him loose. I feel bad for Seattle, the fans of Seattle, because that's a good fan base out there in Seattle. And for about a good decade now, they had a team that was worthy of making some noise with Russell and all that. I thought they would win a lot more championships than just the one. But and when all is said and done now, that team is basically here, okay? They are going to be at the bottom of the barrel for the next several years now. Hopefully some of them Denver picks will pan out for them. But in the end, Seattle already been shaky in regards to keeping teams and all that. Right now, the best team in Seattle, truthfully, is the Storm. For those of you who are fans of WNBA. They by far have the best team in Seattle right now. So yeah, Wagner, I think he needs to go to a team where he ain't got to do too much of the heavy lift. You just part of the whole, okay? Places like well, Chicago obviously not as concerned about defense now. That's why they went ahead and let Khalil Mack go. So that's not
Yep.
necessarily a good spot. I like to see him in a team like maybe the Commanders or perhaps hook up with your boy Parsons over there in Dallas, somewhere on them lines. Somewhere he ain't got to be the main man, but he could be the man standing next to the man, standing next to the man.
Glad you mentioned that, E. I don't know if you've seen that, but yeah, they said that they're definitely very high, and that's the person who's on their radar over there with the Cowboys, Bobby Wagner.
Mm-hmm.
So
So yeah,
yeah,
but
that
beyond that, like I said, I'm not expecting no magnanimous, super glorious thing out of Bobby Wagner at this point in his career. I just want him to be every now and then like, oh, there's Bobby Wagner with the tackle. Okay, cool. I'm good with that.
yeah, because they definitely away from the glory days. But dang, man, it's like no brand. It's like Brandon Bronner's gone. You have Sherman gone.
I,
And it just when all those guys just dismantled, man, it was sad, man. And Earl Thompson, man, Earl Thomas was one of those guys who
people
I
of
thought,
Seattle deserve better than what they got out of that franchise.
yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
they got really disrespected, man. It took that guy played on the franchise tag and got injured, man, and he been on a milk carton ever since then, man. So it was really sad. I think once the Ravens let him go. That was it for him, man. And yeah, I think Pete Carroll could have did a better job for a lot of those guys.
I agree. And of course, Pete getting up there in age himself, so you probably only got another year or two, and then he'll probably go ahead and step aside. So yeah, it may Seattle might become the new Detroit Lions when all is said and done, for all I know.
Join the dark side. We
Exactly.
definitely don't want to hold that title anymore.
Now we're not gonna discuss what went on in Indianapolis. What's up with that?
I got something for you. Not only that, but we're going to talk about more about that too. When I look at that whole situation, I laughed, man, because Frank Rice. I don't know if you heard it or not. He talked to the owner and said that I'm sorry for having lure over Carson Wentz and believed that he would be the savior of this franchise when he was the exact opposite. And I feel bad about this whole decision I made. I feel bad for pushing them on you. And I understand if there are any consequences to that. But I felt like I thought I can do better by him and revive his career. But it's nothing I can do for this man. It's time to move on. Did you hear that rumor?
No, I didn't, but I'm not surprised. Keep in mind, we done heard these stories for years. It'll be that quarterback, and they had that one unbelievable season, and basically we done spent the rest of his career trying to get him back to that point. Carson Wentz is going to be one of those when all is said and done. We know about them. We done had a couple of them in Detroit. Remember young Scotty Mitchell? Remember that brilliant year he had when Marino got hurt and took over in
Mm-hmm.
Miami? It was like, oh yeah, we got to get Scotty. He's going to get it done. And yeah, he did all right for a time here in Detroit, but eventually he showed that no, that was a flash in the pan. It was only so much he was going to be able to do. It's been quarterbacks like that throughout the leagues for years and years and years. You add Carson Wentz to that, charge him to the game. The problem is they in Indianapolis need to figure out a long-term solution while they still are able to field a decent team.
And for your boy too, Coach V, that lets you know right there that Carson Wentz going to the Washington Commanders. Taylor Heineke has no chance. He will
I
forever
told
be a
y'all, if you
glorified
see this
backup.
later on, Coach B or Coach Will, I told you about your boy Heineke. He can't
He's
get it done. I told you he would never be all pro. He'd never make it to a playoff on his own. And doggone it, I was right.
he's a good backup at best, man. To
At
where
best.
you know what he is. He's a poor man, and this is sad. Don't go off the screen. I want to see your expression. Don't put up Barney neither. I want to see your face when I say this. He's a poor man, Chase Keenum.
That hurt.
That's what he is, bro. I don't care how nobody say. Get mad if you want. He's a poor man, Case Keenum. Did you hear too about the Colts once they finally got rid of that problem going to the Commanders, which still doesn't seem like he's going to do well. He's definitely not going to win that division. I want to see him at least win a couple of games and compete, but I don't see that happening. Did you hear about the Colts whispering in the Las Vegas Raiders' ears about Derek Carr?
Man, forget all that. Derek ain't going nowhere. Derek ain't going nowhere. He in Vegas, he's staying. They would have got rid of him, it would have been years ago. Derek ain't going nowhere. He's a good quarterback. He's a good leader of men. That's not easy to find in this league. You're not going to get rid of him. You basically made the playoffs last year. A couple things would have went different, and y'all would have been right there in the mix. No, he ain't going nowhere. And why do it sound like when we talk about the Commanders that we actually talking about a USFL team? I hate that name. I hate that name. Only name worse than that doggone mess in Cleveland. It's going to be hard to get used to that name.
I don't understand too the fact I've been hearing so much stuff about people going places, but you know me, most times I talk to you and I tell you, unless it's facts, I don't really like to even discuss it. But yeah, they've been saying a lot about Jimmy G too, and that's the reason why they got rid of Carson Wentz, and they were considering him going over there with the Colts. But at the same time, they're the same player.
I don't understand why we go through so much about
What's up,
Jimmy
Big Mike?
Garoppolo. On the one hand, yeah, Michael saying, exactly, Mike. I hate that name. So do I, bro. So do I. Jimmy G, he wins football games in the regular season. But then the playoffs come, and all they talk about all week is, yeah, Jimmy, you in the big one now. You ready? I hope you can handle it. In the past, you did this and this and this. It reminds you of the days of A-Rod. When everybody talked about how good A-Rod was in the regular season, but then the playoffs came, and A-Rod didn't show up for years and years and years. It's the same story all over again. Jimmy G is a good quarterback. He's just not a great one. Bottom line is he is the rich man's Jared Goff. Let's pull it that way. Even Jared Goff went to a Super Bowl. He ain't win that bad boy, but it ain't like they got blew out that Super Bowl either. I'm just
Not
saying.
really. It was just the defense
in a race
outplayed them.
situation, it still could happen. That's why some teams like, well, I wouldn't mind seeing what's up with Jimmy. But all that being said, man, just do what you're going to do with Jimmy and move on. San Francisco, quit playing this game. If he ain't going to be the quarterback, as soon as free agency come, ship him off somewhere, get a draft pick or two, and let my man's Trey go ahead and show what he can do.
Mike said, "Who should be the Lions' first pick?" Man, I hope they. I hope what's his name fall in their lap. Malik Willis, man. I would definitely like to get that kid, man.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, hold on. Time out. Now I'm supposed to keep my comments to 2 minutes. I might need a little longer. Y'all in this Malik Willis business, okay? Malik Willis played quarterback for Liberty University, okay? Not many high-profile games got played by Liberty in the years he was quarterback. Is he tall? Yes. Can he run? Yes. Does he have one of the strongest arms we ever seen? Yes. You know who else had a lot of those same stats? Do you remember a young Raiders quarterback? You know who I'm talking about. Big fella. LSU. Remember that guy? And everybody was just in love with him. He's so big. He got this powerful arm. He can do this and air it out. He can run a little bit. I see this being that same story all over again. Somebody is going to overpay for Willis. He going to get on that team. He ain't going to play till like that third game. They're going to be like, we want Willis. We want Willis. He going to come in the game. He going to show out for about 2-3 games. He's the next coming. He's him and Mahomes. And after that, he going to fizzle out. Team's going to figure out, okay, well, he can't read defenses well. Okay, he only going to run to this side. And next thing you know, Willis is on somebody's bench. He has become Geno Smith. No, no, no. Do not
But the
spend
thing
the
is,
number 2 pick, Jamarcus Russell. That's right, Sean. That dude.
but
Do
see,
not,
Jamarcus
do
Russell came
not
in the
spend the
league,
number 2 pick on somebody that might be able to get it done. Do what
but
you
that
need
dude
to
came
do.
in.
I need Thibodeau. I need the dude from Michigan. Do not spend the number 2 pick on this dude. This is not the good move. I understand he's a good guy and all of that. But no, no, no. No.
Jamarcus Russell came in the league overweight though, and he didn't work on his mechanics. I'm not saying that Willis is going to just blow everybody away and be the greatest quarterback of all time, but at the same time, man, Jamarcus Russell, when his bad decision making cost him what he was, man, it wasn't like he came in and worked on his mechanics and worked on being in shape. That dude came to the league 300 pounds and was overweight and never worked on the playbooks and his mechanics, you know. It's how bad you want it, too.
Dude, Malik Willis is not a top 10 pick for nobody's squad, okay? Don't do it. That being said, somebody gonna do it. Please don't let it be the Lions. That's just gonna be
All
another
right,
reason for us to be mad at him for another couple years.
let
Say
me
them
hit you.
picks, have an okay year, and then go ahead and trade up next year to get Stroud or get your boy out of Alabama.
I got an audible. It ain't in stone yet, but
If
it
we can
looks
get him
like
in the second round, I ain't mad at Sauce either. If we
oh
get him
yeah,
with that
oh, that's
32
my
pick
guy, man.
or the
But
second round,
I'm
I'm with
sad
it.
though, man. After your boy, man, didn't pan out for us, man. You know, at cornerback, you know, with Ohio State product.
That
Everybody
part.
talking about, you know, I was so mad at that situation right now. Definitely the dude can't stay healthy. We're hoping that he can revive his career, man, and come back healthy. But
You
yeah,
can't
man,
revive something that never started, Hugh. That dude wasn't never good since he been with us. Even when he was playing, he was getting burnt like frosted toasters. Okay, I
oh
was
yeah,
calling
he
that dude Pop Tart because he was getting toasted every game.
man, we might see your boy Freddie Freeman in the Dodgers jersey. They're making a strong push for that guy right now, and they trying to get him to a multiple year contract.
Atlanta, you let that dude go, you stupid. Pay him. Pay him.
Mike said he can play the nickel.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Please don't waste these picks, Lions. If you're gonna waste them, just go on ahead and trade down or trade to get more picks next year.
I want to get into now some of the NBA action, and we could talk about some of the games that happened last night because they were definitely huge stage games. One of them was the Golden State Warriors. They struggled against the Denver Nuggets. In this game, I thought was going to come out to be the same, but I definitely felt like them getting a 3 game sweep would be a travesty. But to see the way they played last night, because when I was looking at it, it was kind of a close game, and I kind of went to sleep and dozed off on it. And when I woke up, man, I don't know what happened, man. But Steph got it back together, man, and he was cooking. Sometimes that dude to cook. Sometimes he probably have his leftover game in, but yeah, he decided to cook last night. That was a really good performance from him, man. And he was crossing dudes over shooting from half court. Man, he put up a huge game for the Golden State Warrior win. When I saw that, I said that some teams might be seeing each other in the playoffs too. And do you think that that was something that we'll be looking forward to? Do you think that they did that to just say, okay, we want to make a statement? Or do you think it's just that Denver's that banged up right now?
Well, on the one hand, I'm sitting here and I'm slightly distracted because they got Brock Lesnar cleaning house. He going all up through the stadium, throwing bodies left and right. So my bad. But the other thing is this: it's like sometimes lately Golden State play like they ain't got no soul, like something missing, right? You notice that?
Yeah.
You know why? Because something is missing, and they're not going to get
Like mine.
anywhere in the playoffs without it. You are now starting to see the value of one Draymond Green. Okay. Draymond Green is the heart and soul of that team. And that team plays entirely different. They have a whole different grit to them when Draymond is on the floor. Remember, he is not only the guard forward on there doing the distribution sometimes, actually playing like a point guard, but he is also their defensive coordinator out there. He is the one like, hey, to your left, hey, to your right, hey, do this and this and this. The young people on that team, they desperately need Draymond to come back. He set them up in places to succeed. The other thing is Draymond at times could be a scorer that will take some of the pressure off of them. Another thing is the fact that the three of them play very well together. That would be the Splash Brothers and young Draymond. They will be in the mix for it all once they get a healthy Draymond Green back. So I'm hoping the reason why he is not back is because they're trying to get him 100%, because they do not play the same without him. There are nights when they basically start to not hit them jumpers, and you know when you live by the three, you die by the three. The deal is Draymond to get them together like, look, man, we need to get back to passing and passing. Because when they are a passing team, when everybody's eating, that team is probably the best team in basketball, even better than the Suns or the Bucks.
I have a question for
you. And Denver's underrated, by the way. Y'all be sleeping on Denver, even with all their injuries.
When my man Jamal Murray and them come back, man, there's gonna be problems.
If he come back, I'm really starting to wonder if we're gonna see him at all this year.
Yeah. Okay. I looked and I've been seeing the games lately with Boston.
I got a question, Hugh. Check it out.
Are Phoenix Suns for real, or will they fold? I'm thinking they're a legit squad right now, man. Due to the fact that the game that they won just recently against the Bucks, man, they beat them pretty good without Chris Paul, man. Yeah, of course, Devin Booker came back, and that definitely changed the complexity of everything. But Cameron Johnson and Chris Paul was out. It's something about Chris Paul to make teams play better, man. They were talking about that game too. And every team he went to, their percentage got up as far as their points and just their scoring average. That dude's a general, man, and I'm just hoping that he can stay healthy a whole playoff series, man. But I definitely believe they legit. I'm just hoping that DeAndre Ayton and all the other guys step up and play big. I still feel like it was a piece that's missing. That still they should have tried to got somebody from the trade deadline. I don't know what it is, but I still feel like they'll be okay. Will they go back to
their actually got enough of what they need now to make it happen. They got DeAndre Ayton, they got a big man that takes minutes from him. They throw some extra fouls in there. You're gonna need that if you go back and play the Bucks again in the finals. You're gonna need 2 or 3 big men to weigh on Giannis and get a couple extra fouls out the way. They got a strong bench over there in Phoenix. They are a young and vibrant team, with the exception, of course, of the general Chris Paul. They got everything they need to make it happen. They was probably about a little bit here last year when they played the Bucks. This year, I think they all healthy around that time, and everybody's gelling. We're gonna have a heck of a finals between them two if it ends up being them two again. But the key is they're gonna need to get some more out of Aiden, because that's the one thing that Golden State is lacking that they definitely have. They don't have a lot of big men in the middle in Golden State. So if they don't get Wiseman back at some point soon, and he is not effective, then that's where Golden State messed up. They definitely should have got a big man. They probably should have tried to do a better job of getting somebody like Drummond or somebody along them lines to help out in the middle.
And that's key too, man, because I feel like Drummond plays such a good role with a team, and he's one of the last of the dying breed centers, man. That's what a lot of people I talked to and discussed in the past who are huge Andre Drummond fans, that the reason why him and Embiid didn't get along because he was just as good. And I was like, well, I don't know about he was just as good. He probably have some of the fundamentals as a center, but when it comes to all around, Joel is probably one of the best big men that we've seen in period, you know.
Joel is showing all the potential that we thought he had in Kansas. We were all saying that when he came out, he could be the next Akeem Olajuwon. He is very much playing like that right now.
Yeah, I definitely
Drummond goes. Drummond is exactly what he needs to be. He's a good rebounder. He's a decent defender in the post. He is able to score without you having to call his number to get him the ball. That is what you want. You need a team that has somebody like that, so they're not clogging up everybody else's time and minutes and points. And
let's talk about
that's an ideal person. You need at least 2 or 3 people like that. That's why I say with Ben on Brooklyn now, you don't need him to be that scorer in the playoffs. In the end, you just need Ben to be Ben.
And if he just bring his attributes to the game, man, if he could just, rebound, get the perimeter baskets, dunk when he got the breakaway, and distribute that ball, man. You got Patty Mills, you got Curry, you got Durant, you got Kyrie, you got everybody who's
You
gonna
got
set.
Blake Griffin. Yeah, that's right, Pride. I said it.
Oh yeah, you got all those guys, man, and they gonna act the fool, man. I definitely would like to see him just play his game and don't try to do any more because if he play his game, that'd be dangerous, man.
What
What's
up
going
to
on,
the
bro?
on the
How
road?
everything going with
What's going on, bro? Yeah, road. I'm been BSing. Okay, we'll talk. But yeah, we'll talk. But thank you for coming through, bro. We appreciate you. We always do. Please know
always
that
showing love for us? Definitely appreciate it.
you got much
Oh,
love here in the network and on the show. You know that, bro. But yeah, go ahead, Hugh.
okay, man, let's get to the topic now, man. I've been, beating around this. What happened to that cooking yesterday, E man?
What
I,
happened?
you know what happened yesterday, man. I didn't think they was gonna get cooked that bad. I saw the
Oh,
game
okay.
and I
Now,
said, okay,
now.
I want to see what happened. It got to the point where when they were saying F Ben Simmons all loud in the crowd, but I'm like, why y'all even focus on this man? And that's just Philly mentality. I focus on this man and y'all was down 30. Like, come on now, man. And I felt like when Kevin Durant got disrespected, I felt like on some of them plays that Joel Embiid did, man, if it was Shaq, they would have called charges all day. I don't know if it was a Philly discount, but some of the things he did were charges, and they was giving him the benefit of the doubt. Because come on, E man, I'm not trying to be funny. That dude, it wasn't even halftime yet, and he went to the line 11 times. I thought that was a little bit extreme. But when he knocked down Kevin playing bully ball and got the end one, that's what I like to see. They always been chirping at each other. The first time, the Nets beat them, and the Nets were the number one team in the league at the time. Then I think they carried that streak over, and they lost. And they lost in Brooklyn, and that's when Joel Embiid told them to get off the court and go home. And when I looked up this time, man, Kevin Durant wanted all the smoke and they demolished them guys on their home court. And your boy James Harden looked like a shell of himself. Philly will fold again. I definitely see it myself, man. Definitely, if they play like they did last night, it's gonna be another problem because ain't no way in your home gym that you get ran out of your own gym by 30 something points. That was a shame, man. They all should be ashamed.
Philly was not happy with that effort. Okay. Granted, they wasn't happy with Ben Simmons. We all knew that. I'm glad that they went ahead and finally got it out the way. I really would have liked to see Ben play for a few minutes. I understand that they say there's this mental thing he has going on where that's why he can't get himself to play at the moment. Bottom line, if you are that mentally deficient to where it's going to affect your play like that, it's time for you to retire early, sir. Collect your check and keep it pushing. Because bottom line is you are in the East. You're going to play Philly. Okay? Y'all both going to probably make it to the playoffs. And first round or two, you're probably going to face Philly again. They're going to be on you, okay? The way you played it in Philly, the way you played that whole scenario, not only are they going to be on you, but they got a right to be on you. They told you about Philly. You know Philly don't play. Remember, Philly is the town that booed Santa Claus. Philly is the town that cheered when Michael Irvin broke his leg. We know what type of fans they got in Philly. You know what that's about. You was never going to be Allen Iverson in Philly, Ben. You know that. So suck it up, man up, and get the plane. How do you think Ben is going to do with it next? I don't think he's going to be better the team. I disagree, Ro. I think he will, as long as they utilize him in the proper way. And like I said, that is to let Ben be Ben. Don't worry about him scoring. Don't worry about him shooting the threes and jumpers. Just let Ben do all the things that he did in Philly to make him successful in Philly. Let him play quality defense. Let him get some rebounds. Let him distribute the ball to all the real scorers on the team. And I think Ben will be just fine. And I think they expect that of him.
Definitely
Q,
with all the
who's
weapons.
coming out the East, says Sean. Who you got coming out the
Man,
East?
that's a good one, man. I definitely feel like Giannis and them will come out the East again. But what's scary right now is when you see Kyrie and KD playing their best game and doing what they did last night. If they could keep that up, they could make a run out of it. But I just don't really see much, man. Because I feel like the best thing that they did was get Serge Ibaka, man. Giannis can kind of rest up now, and they won't really miss a beat.
No, actually, I think the best thing that could possibly happen to Milwaukee is the fact that they're talking about getting Brook Lopez back in a couple weeks. You add all that to what they got already, I say that's what's putting them over the hump. Right now we're looking at four teams in the East for real. You got obviously the Bucks, you got Brooklyn, you got Philly, and you got Miami. One of them four teams is going to win the East. Plain and simple.
And I like the fact that how well they've been playing, like just all the teams in the East in general, man. It's crazy because it's only 4 games to separate teams from the number one seed as well. But yeah, Miami been balling, man. Hero after they had the bubble, I'm thinking that he was going to probably fade away, but he's been one of the main factors over there. Then when you got my man's Kyle Lowry, Butler, man, Bam, man, that's a really good team that people sleeping
And
on,
who
man. And
knew
I know
that
they love
Duncan
it to people.
Robinson was actually going to be this good in the NBA?
Not at
I thought he
all,
was going to get
man.
treated
Duncan
like
Robinson
specialist
been
at best.
balling, man.
Give Duncan a little credit over
They've
there.
been a huge surprise out the East. I feel like the red hot Boston Celtics is going to sizzle out because I just feel like when it comes to as well, I just don't feel like them boys going to click in the playoffs. Something's going to happen to where their momentum will probably shift. But as good as they've been playing, if those guys can't coexist this season too, I feel like with Boston, they definitely need to figure out a mega deal or to dismantle that team. And you either go, I wouldn't leave I wouldn't take Tatum out the fold, but I think I would rather keep him in Boston and deal Jalen Brown because when you look at it right now, no disrespect to Jalen, I think he's an awesome player, but I just feel like he's more injury prone. As you look at their careers, you've seen more durability with Jason Tatum. And then after that last game, he played too, man. And the numbers he put up, I wouldn't want to get rid of that guy, man. This dude's only 24 years old and putting up those numbers. So I feel like that'd be the wise thing to do is say, okay, we got to get somebody and build around Tatum and give Jalen Brown to another team and try to get some ransom for him and his talents.
Well, here's the thing. It all depends on if you think Brown is a number one or a number two player. If you think he's a number one player, then some of those teams that are on the birds, teams like Indiana or Sacramento or Portland, that would be an ideal destination for him. If you think he's more of a number two scorer, then you need a team like, say, the Pistons or even Chicago Bulls, perhaps. Those would be the type of teams that should be looking for him to add to what you got. You got Cade Cunningham on one side. You put Jalen Brown there. You mix him in with the big fella Bagley and whatnot. I think you got something there. And he's young enough to fit in with that age group of talent they got in the Pistons. I wouldn't mind them making that move. Go on, give up that first round pick. It's like gaining a first round pick with him. So I trade 2 first round picks to get Brown. If I was the Pistons, why not?
Yeah, we got to stop sleeping on the Chicago Bulls too and how well they've been playing, man. I know they might not be coming out the East, but they definitely make the East relevant. And you're starting to see that shift a little bit, man. How we was looking like, oh damn, the West is like really super dominant, but no, man, it seemed like the East, man, those guys, the games apart is not by much. You could say like if Boston went on a 5-6 game win streak and like some of the teams lost a few games in a row, man, they could be easily the number one seed. So yeah, it's like it's so tight in the East now that it remind me how it used to be back in the 80s, when the East was the dominant division. So yeah, man, it's going to be really good in the East, and I'm interested in seeing what's going to happen in the playoffs. I definitely can't wait to see what's going to happen and how everything be as far as the seeds and who gets what team.
E-Buck, how far are the Pistons from being relevant? Right now, I say we still a bit away, Sean, to be honest.
I give it about
We had a
2
nice
years.
winning streak for a minute there, but they starting to come back to earth now. I think we maybe win another 6 or 7 games. We are definitely in the lottery again next year. We probably get like the 3rd or 4th pick. I can't see us pulling off that miracle and getting the number 1 pick again. How crazy would that be? And that being said, if we did it, I'm looking at college right now, and there is no clear-cut number 1 pick, just like it kind of wasn't last year. So I don't know if that's even in our best interest to have the number 1 pick this year. I have to pay them both number 1 pick money a couple years from now. So yeah, I say they're about a good 2 starters and 3 quality bench players away from being relevant in the East as it stands now. So let's say what 2025 maybe. So yeah, it's still gonna be a while. I gotta be honest. What you think, Hugh?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. About a good 2-3 years tops. We definitely seen flashes though. Pistons need a big
man from Auburn to be relevant. That is definitely gonna be one of the top picks in the draft. I wouldn't mind them getting that kid out of Illinois, the big guy over there either.
Kofi.
I would like to say Hunter Dickinson is going to be a factor in the NBA, but I really can't see it in today's NBA. Yeah, he can shoot from the perimeter, and yeah, of course he is dominant in the post, but you know, in this day and age of centers, there's not really any centers per se in the NBA. And
how for the best?
Is his foot speed and whatnot, who he gonna be able to check? Embiid will eat him alive, okay? Giannis, he could not check Giannis at all. So I don't know where he will fit in. I mean, he basically is a taller Lou Garza. And you know, we presently have him on the Pistons. And yeah, some nights you can put Lou in the post and he'll score some points for you. But when it comes down to have to defend and getting some good minutes out of him. So yeah, I still say it's gonna be a while for the Pistons, regardless of who they get.
Yeah, they might have flashes, you know, like they did this year. You know, they won a few good games. When I saw they beat Atlanta, I was like, damn, Atlanta and Boston, those games kind of woke me up. Like, man, they beat these teams, you know. So you're gonna see those flashes. But we saw the flashes too last year when they had a really rough season. So yeah, it's just them continuing to rebuild and try to restructure. Hopefully they can get some good free agents and whatnot. Like you said, the whole thing with Jaylen Brown, if we were able to pull something off like that, that'll be a hell of a boost on the team. So man, let's just hope that we can stay positive and them to get the right pieces to the puzzle, man, because that's all they need is really good players and some strong bench play. And that can change us from being one of the worst to playoff contention, you know.
Right, because understand, I think we got a good coach. I think we got a good GM. Our owner, you know, you could question his commitment to the Pistons. Remember, Tom Gore spends more of his time in California than he does here in Michigan. So there's that. But
that should tell you something.
Yeah, it does to me at least. But okay, Hugh, before we move on, because I know you're going to spend some time talking about what's going on with baseball. We got to talk about that. But before we do that, we're about an hour in, so we're going to take a quick commercial break. Please, y'all, don't leave. We are very much enjoying y'all commentary this evening. Keep asking the questions. We are loving that. Ask as many as you want. This is not just our sports show. It's y'all's as well. So be back to ask some more. We're going to be back to answer some more after a short break from our people here in the Nighthawk Network. This one guy, I know one of you in the audience should know quite well. Check him out. Nighthawk Network presents Pastor Sean Love. Pastor Sean Love, devoted father and husband, a residing pastor at the River Ridge Bible Assembly in River Ridge, Michigan. Join him as he gives us messages from God's Word, Bible study, and encouragement. You can find him on YouTube under Sean Love. Have you been scrolling Facebook and looking for that quick sports fix? Want a quick peek of what's going on in the latest sports news? Check out Pure to the Game Sports Blog with the sports guru, Hugh D. Lee. He'll get you together. check it out. Follow it on Facebook. Make sure you like it.
Behind the Blue Curtain, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comfort together because it's time to dish tea. And you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meat.
Can't wait. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat. It's time to dish tea with Big Meat.
Darling.
The views and or opinions expressed here on Gametime Audible is that of the host and or guests, and does not necessarily reflect those of the Nighthawk Network or its affiliates. Viewer and listening discretion is advised. What's going on, y'all? We are back. Gametime Audible in the building. It's your boy E-Buck, your man, the sports guru Hugh Lee, and we are ready to talk about what, Hugh?
Before we even get to that, E, you know I ain't forget about you, baby. We're gonna talk about Brittany Griner, man, and the whole incident that happened with her over there in Russia.
Now, here's the thing, people. Basically, Brittany is being railroaded, okay? She is a pawn in the political game. Understand, Brittany Griner is the best player in Russia right now, even though she is not Russian. It is sad that in an ideal world, as a female basketball athlete, you have to go across the seas to the other leagues to get your real money, okay? Brittany Griner is easily one of the top 10 players in the WNBA. But because she makes 5 times as much money playing in a Russian league than she does at home, that is why she is there. But because of the conflict in Russia, she chose to go back home and not be involved. Because of that decision, that is why she is being detained, because they have found traces of vapors that are utilized in marijuana in her cartridges that she used to smoke. She is not the only person in Russia to use marijuana. She is not the only American athlete that was over there. They didn't choose to detain any of them. They kept her because she is Brittany Griner. That is why she is currently being detained in a Russian prison to possibly use as some type of bargaining chip later on down the line. It is not fair to her. We had the Free Britney Spears movement. Now can we get the Free Brittany Griner movement going on? Because she is monkey in the middle of a game that she did not sign up for. And in the ideal world, I really just need us to get the WNBA together to be the best women's league in the world so they can make the money that they can make, so that way we don't have to worry about them having to play overseas, because they're getting their millions over here where it's enough money to make the WNBA a very viable option that people could watch. I really, again, need Lifetime or some company like that to pick up the WNBA and make it to where they can get the dollars that they need to be the best women's league in the world. Because you know how I feel about women's sports. Go ahead, you.
I think it's a travesty, man, because like you said, they wanted to use her as a pawn. They know what's going on right now, and Putin's not too happy, man. That dude's going crazy over there right now. But it's just really to the point where we need to get her back over here, man. And it's sad, too, very sad, like you said. Why would she have to go overseas and go to different other countries to make the money that she deserves when we're supposed to be the wealthiest and richest country there is? I just feel like that's just the way they show respect to her and the other women players. Remember, I told you Liz Cambridge said we have some of the best talent in the world, but we don't feel like we're being appreciated. And all it took was for me to look in and see their playoffs and look and see some of the players and to focus on that and just look at college like I normally have in a while for a while. I kind of slipped on the women's college for years, but when I went back and seen that Haley Jones and a lot of the women over there, man, it made me show and grow more love and respect for the sport. They just need to be paid like they're the athletes in America. The NIL's helping with college, but I just feel like they need to do something for the WNBA players, man. And you could definitely see the growth with more athletes like the D Ways, and a lot of the players are going in the crowds and filling up the stands, and you're seeing more celebrities and people going to the games. I feel like that was cool last year. But at the same time, man, they need to reach deep down in their pockets and invest more in these women and pay them better so they won't have to be stuck in a situation like this. Because Brittany, that's unfair to her to be in that situation when she should make more money in America in the first place, man. That's a shame.
I mean, unfortunately, Sean, no, I don't see a time where the WNBA will make the type of money that the NBA players make. Understand, some of everybody, they look at the WNBA game and say, "I'm bored. They need to dunk. I don't like how they play defense. Blase, blase, split." But in the same token, we got trillions of dollars in this country. If we got $20 billion to send in humanitarian aid to the Ukraine, surely we could come up with enough money to make the WNBA truly legitimate. Understand, we got the WNBA now because a lot of it is sponsored by the NBA. They could contribute more money. That's why it's unfortunate that Kobe Bryant is no longer with us. He was definitely making strides in regards to helping the women's game grow, not only because of the fact that his daughter was a part of women's basketball, but he had a lot of good ties to a lot of the up and coming women in the sport, including my favorite, the one and only legendary in her own kind. Can't wait to see how she does in the tournament. That would be this kid right here, Paige Beckers. And of course, for Hugh, I got to put his homegirl, Caitlin Clark, in the mix. Definitely
Can't forget about her.
out in the tournament. But yeah, the long and short of it is with the right type of sponsorship and the right backing, I think the WNBA could definitely be a league that will thrive beyond what they already have. That they can make
Right.
top players be in the millions and whatnot. They won't never make what the Steph Currys and the Kevin Durant's and stuff make. We know that. But if they can at least get to where they make 3-4 million a season and they get a 60-game season in instead of 40 games, I'd be happy with that.
Looking, man, trying to see what was going on, man. It ain't really nothing really relevant. They're just talking about who got their eye on what player, and I'm not really happy about that. They need to go on somewhere with that. But at the same time, that's just me, man. Just wanted to put more news out there. But we're gonna talk about
Get to the
one
good stuff. Hugh, quit playing. Come on now.
baseball is finally back, man. We got
Yeah.
that yesterday, and I was really happy about that, man. Some of the decisions. How did you like some of the new rule changes and different things that they brought to the fold too? Do you think that should be something that make more fans interested? Because they were saying they want to speed up and make the game more interesting. I think some of the moves definitely is going to help.
Finally, we get to the discussion I've been dying to have. Understand that when we canceled out the normal Gametime Audible on Wednesday, it was because baseball at that point was still kind of figured out, and they had pissed me off. And there was some things I need to work out, but I got them worked out, but baseball did not. So I'm like, man, if they finally figure this out this week, we got to do a show, and they got it done. Now, in the end, let me be totally frank and honest. The owners got over again, okay? They got over on the players. They have been getting all these revenues from all these different places. Remember, not only is baseball getting revenues from television rights, they getting revenue from namings of the stadium. They're now going to get extra revenue for advertising on the uniforms. You got the MLB network paying them. You got things like TikTok and Snapchat coming up with different concepts to be part of baseball. They get money from everywhere. Meanwhile, the players were stagnant. They wasn't making no extra money. So yeah, they get a little bump in pay right off rip. If you're a player starting out this year, you're gonna make $750,000 as basic player A. That's about $150,000 raise from last year. But in the same token, the owners won this. They got more of what they wanted than the players did. So understand, some of the players, they ain't gonna be happy about it, but at least they get back to playing. So that being said, let's talk about some of these rule changes right quick. You don't
Yes, sir.
First of all, they are going to institute the pitch clocks. That's not actually going to happen till next year. They don't have time enough to get the technology up to date to do it for this year. But starting next year, pitch clocks, we need that. A lot of the game is people playing this. Oh, no, hold on. No, let me step off the mound. Yeah. So that's definitely going to help the game speed up. There will be a ban on the defensive shifts. No more shifts. Thank God. Okay. We want to talk about the purity of the game and staying to the bylaws that made the game great. It wasn't no shifts back in the day for Babe Ruth and all of them folks. It shouldn't be one now. Is that going to mean hitters are going to have better times at bat? Absolutely. And in the end, you want more hitting than pitching, even though as a former pitcher, I love pitching. But in the end, you want more offense. You will get more offense because you ain't got to worry about the shifts. Another thing is the National League has finally adapted the designated hitter. Long overdue. A lot of these pitchers, they couldn't hit to save their life, okay? They had no intention to do so. Remember, in no other league was you as a pitcher required to hit. Not in the minor leagues, not in college, not in high school. But now you have to come up to the National League and learn how to hit. That wasn't fair. Plus, you were robbing certain of the older statements of the game a few extra years, where they still were very viable hitters, but not really good in the field. So now I'm looking forward to seeing some of those people get their due, like Albert Pujols and, of course, the great Miguel Cabrera. Another interesting thing that I didn't find out till this morning is they have banned bunting. There is no more bunting in baseball.
What do you think because it's Bush League?
Huh?
You think because it's kind of Bush League? Like, say, for instance, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say Bush League. We seen a lot of Bush League and stuff go on when it came to the button. I know you looking like, okay, you get to the point. Like, say, for instance, if I'm throwing a no-hitter, and somebody bunt.
Nah, I get you.
Okay, that's I felt like sometimes
keep in mind, we didn't rob Justin Verlander, but at least 2 no-hitters based on the bunt. I've seen that happen. I was at one of the games. I was pissed. Why you do that? But that being said, it's about trying to get on base, and that's the way to do so. Of course, they still have it to where you will get the automatic 4 balls if you choose to intentionally walk somebody. But that being said, as a talented hitter, it's ways around the bunting thing. But I guess the real reason why they felt the need to do it is because the pitchers don't have to hit no more. Primarily, they were the ones that was bunting. So with them not hitting, we might as well utilize people's talents to hit. But I still say that takes away from the purity of the game, that they should have got rid of that. I am glad, though, that they got rid of the extra inning thing where you start out with a person on second base. I did not like that. I did not like that at all. We are back to the regular overtimes. There's no more 7-inning doubleheaders, by the way. We're back to having the usual 9-inning doubleheaders. I'm liking that move, too, even though that was going to long some of the games. But hopefully some of the other rules will fix that. There's going to be talk again in the next couple of years about putting the home plate umpire to pass and having the electronic balls and strikes like they've been experimenting with in some of the minor leagues. I would probably like to see that. I ain't mad at that. You still need a home plate umpire to decide who's safe and who's out. But, yeah, I would kind of like that. So if you got a roll going and you pitching good, let it ride. Another couple things right quick, y'all. Hold on. The postseason has now been expanded to 12 games. There's no more one-and-done playing games. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate playing games, period. I hate it in college basketball. I hate it in the NBA. I hate it in the WNBA. I hate it in baseball. Glad it's gone. We're not going to have 3-game series and then 5-game series and 7-game series. I'm cool with that. No problem
I'm
with that.
definitely cool with that too, because I was definitely about to ask you how you feel about those end games. How do you feel too about the first two, the number 1 and 2 seed gets the bye?
I'm good with that as well. You
I actually
deserve
love
that.
that too, and definitely playing 162 games. 16 games for football, you probably scratch your head with number 1 and 2, but when you see 162 games and the people get a bye, it's well deserved.
Right. Now, the one thing that I found very intriguing that they changed, and I really like it now that I think about it. After this season, from this point on, next season, all teams will play at least one series where they play all teams, just like in all the other major sports, with the exception of the NFL, obviously. And hockey and in basketball, you at least play all the other teams at least twice in the season. That's going to happen here now in baseball. I
That's
really
good.
like that. I like that because in the end, you're trying to grow the game. You're trying to grow popularity for the game. You want to see all the great players. And now you will have that opportunity. Everybody will roll into your town at some point in either 2023 or 2024, and you get the opportunity to see a Shohei Ohtani or Fernando Tatis Jr., some of the young guns in the game. You see what I'm saying? I like that. What do you think, you?
I love that, man, because that was probably one of the only sports that did that, man. I got so tired of the interleague games because they barely played each other, and you had to go by the NL rules or the AL rules, which some teams wasn't comfortable with. Now, with the universal DH, it makes it to the point everybody will be comfortable, and I was so happy about that because it was like, my boy Albert wasn't getting no market at all. Like you said, it was to the point where he had no market until they found out it's the universal DH, and now he got 3, 4 teams that's interested in getting his services because he still got a good keen eye for the bat, and looking at the ball and hitting the ball out the park. That's something he didn't lose. We definitely knew he lost the step when it came to first base. So now you get to see the hitters, the pure hitters hit. And I think it's going to bring a lot more offense, and it's going to bring a lot more excitement to the game of baseball. We've been wanting that for years. New rules implemented and put in this sport to make it a better sport and to make more people look at it like it is, man. People don't like to call that America's game, which it is, but we want to do what's best for the sport, and I feel like they're doing what's better job at, putting them in the forefront now being one of the best sports in the world.
Right, because keep in mind, you and I, we love baseball. If Sean is still in the room, he loved baseball too as a kid. That being one of my homies from back in the day. But I really need baseball to do a better job of growing the sport. That's
Yeah,
why, the fact that they have these sponsorships that's going to be on the uniforms, and obviously it's going to be more commercials by these sponsors saying, yeah, we're so-and-so, the official sponsor of the Kansas City Royals or whatever the team might be. You know what I'm saying? I really like that fact. So all that being said, I'm looking forward to this year's baseball season. I think it's going to be exciting. We're going to definitely have a lot more players and fans in the crowds. I'm interested to see who the Tigers bring up to play, and the fact that they have changed a little bit how they're doing the whole service agreements, so that the players won to a small degree, but they still don't get exactly what they wanted in terms of player service times and whatnot. So, of course, this is a 5-year deal, so it's going to be a while before we get back to that argument. But when all is said and done, pandemic is dying down. All the major sports this year will now be in full effect without restrictions and what have you. No bubbles, no nothing. And hopefully we will get some quality play out of all of them. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward not only as a fan of the game, as a person that talks about the game, but also as a person that likes to go to the games. One of my
absolutely.
goals this year now is we got to do one at each hue. That is the goal. I want us to do a hockey game, a football game, a baseball game, a basketball game. Can we do it, bro?
I'm thinking 3 out of the 4, man.
Man, we going to the hockey game, bro. We cannot be sports gurus and whatnot and not have at least been to one hockey game, okay? I cannot legitimately call you the sports guru if you ain't never seen a hockey game live. All right?
Yeah, we'll check it out.
Work with me, man. But nonetheless, yeah, we even gonna go to some high school games. We talked about that. So You know, we got the open invitation. Shout out to our coach friends who have invited us to go check out their teams, Coach V and your boy who I forget his name. Who is it, Hugh?
Boy, Ty.
Coach Ty, him as well. So yeah, we're gonna definitely check them things out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see how these change implementations are going to work out. And I just want to see the Tigers have a good season. I want to see everybody have a good season. I love baseball. You know this.
Yeah, definitely can't wait to see what happened, man, to see how everything unfold and to get the 162 games back too was definitely something that was like a sigh of relief because we didn't even think we was going to get that at first. Hell, we didn't think they were going to play till like the second week in April. But now for it to come on August the 7th, I mean, not August the 7th, I'm sorry, y'all, April the 7th, and we get 162 games, man, that was a win-win for the sport and the fans, you know.
Right.
There's a few things that happened too.
Training goes, now that we only basically got a couple of weeks of spring training instead of that whole month. I said if it work out well, that's something they might want to think about doing long term.
On the regular, starting a little later, like in first week of April.
Exactly.
A few signings today too. It wasn't really too much of nothing big. Dodgers re-signed Clayton Kershaw to a 1-year, $14 million deal. The Cubs signed Andrelton Simmons, and he have like a 1-year, $4 million deal. I was surprised, you know, that he didn't get a little bit more than that. But what's my man's name? Carlos Rodon, man. The dude from the White Sox got picked up by the Giants, man, and he got a pretty good deal, man. His deal was 2-year, $44 million deal. He will earn like $21.5 million in 2022 and $22.5 million in 2023. So that's a healthy contract for a start.
White Sox let him get away. He's a good pitcher.
Man, White Sox had some really good pitching too last year, man. Just surprised that they let one of their own go. Was really surprised with that.
Yeah, because I honestly feel like this year in our division it's going to be us or them that win the division. I think it's basically going to be us two. Cleveland might have a slight say-so about it, but yeah, I think it's basically those two. I think it's going to be a long year in Kansas City, and I think Minnesota going to fall off. So that's that.
Definitely glad we was able to squeeze a lot of that stuff in too, man. You know, I got to make my mark known, man. Whenever y'all get a chance, man, tomorrow's going to be one of the big days in football because they're about to start making these trades. They're not going to be official until March the 16th, but head over to that Pure to the Game page, man. I'll be there putting up all the news, man. I've been basically putting people up on that and telling them if they ain't see anything going on in sports or if they just want to catch up, check me out, man, because I'm going to be hot on the trail, man. I hope nobody listening, especially the managers at the job tomorrow. I don't give a damn because my phone going to be in my hand all day. And if you don't like it, kick me out because I'm going to definitely be looking at the games and I'm going to be posting everything that I could in my wheel. So, yeah, definitely check me out, man. Tomorrow around like 1 o'clock, about time it start to get off. Actually, shit, 12:01 tonight. Probably gonna be the start of people starting to make those moves. So yeah, man, it's definitely about to be interesting because that's one thing I'm gonna probably do when I probably wake up at night and get me a glass of water or something. I'm gonna definitely look at the phone at night. This is gonna be a couple of moves here and there, but a lot of the moves will be official on March the 16th when free agency frenzy come about. It's gonna be a lot of stuff going on, man. We still got the free agency in baseball. Basketball season getting closer to the playoffs. Man, we got the March Madness. This is really a good part of the year.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Remember, Selection Sunday is Sunday, y'all. Also remember that this week is spring forward, daylight savings time, so make sure you get your clock situated. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the tournament this year. Right now, when it comes to both the men's and women's tournament, there is no clear-cut winner. And I'm really interested to see how these brackets gonna go. Remember now, we got a lot of the sports books up and running this year with a full slate of games. I'm interested to see how they going to implement certain things to get people. Because remember, during the Super Bowl where they had the whole promotion about bet 5 and win this, I know they're going to have a big promotion for March Madness as well. I'm curious to see how that works out. And, of course, how did we end up skipping this story, Hugh? The story about the gambler. You know who I'm talking about.
Man, I hate that because my man's got put on blast, and it seems like Alabama players haven't been doing so good right now. You got the Henry
Oh,
Ruggs.
that's why we ain't talk about it. Oh, now I get it. Now I get it.
You got the Calvin Ridley situation, man. I want to know how you really felt about that too, man. He gambled, and they said that he gambled on his team, and he wasn't at the time part of the NFL. He was on the non-football injury list, and for that to go down and for them to suspend him and say that not only that they're going to suspend him before a whole season, do you think that was justified?
I do. Now, granted, a lot of people talk about the fact that how did he get a year for that, but people doing domestic violence and all that only getting 2 and 3 games. Well, guess what? I think that's wrong too. I think them people should get more time. Truth to be told. But again, that's something the NFL want to work out. But long story short is you have put the integrity of the game in question. Okay, understand. Yes, he was not playing for the team. He was not even at the facilities or anything like that. But good and doggone well, he was in touch with his teammates and stuff. You are betting on games that your team is playing. Think about it. You have access to information nobody has. Sometimes what stays in the locker room stays in the locker room. So you may know that Matt Ryan got this nagging knee injury that don't go on the injury report. But you see him wrapping up, talking about ouch, ouch every day. If one of your teammates is going through some things mentally, his mom died, and every Tuesday he cries out his locker. So this week he probably not gonna play so good because his mama's birthday that Sunday. All this little insider information that we don't have. And you're gonna base your bet on that if you got any good sense. So yeah, that is why you cannot bet on football. Understand, you want to bet on baseball, basketball, the football player, even if some of the people you went to school with play baseball and you get some of that same information from them, so be it. I cannot see a band where, okay, you're a professional athlete now, you're not allowed to bet on nothing. But in the same token, when it comes to your own team or your own sport, you cannot do that because you do bring the legitimacy of what goes on the field in question. And that's going to cost the league billions of dollars. That's going to cost the casino billions of dollars. That's going to cost the economy billions of dollars. So be fortunate that they're only saying 1 year. But bottom line is you bet $1,500, it cost you $12 million. I hope it was worth it, bro.
On that note, man, put my man Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame, man.
That part, that's been over with. Get that man back. Don't wait till that dude died, then put him in. That's going to be the worst thing ever. Let him in. In the end, yeah, he bet on baseball, but he hit all 4,181 hits himself. No help, no steroids, none of that. Put him in. You ain't got to put him in as being a coach. When he was a coach, he did wrong. Put him in as a player. He didn't do all that when he was playing, okay? I'm done.
Give my man Pete Rose his roses. No pun intended.
Right. Put Pete in, free Britney. What we saying on the way out the door, bro?
Let Britney live. Get her out of that country.
Bring Big Britney back to the crib, okay? All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. We appreciate it. Thanks for all the commentaries this evening. We love when y'all come in and chime in and interact with the show. That's why we do the show live. We want to keep doing it. Let us know if you want us to keep doing the show on Friday. I'm down. Is my partner down? If this is a better day for y'all to tune in, why not? If there's a better day for y'all besides Wednesday or Friday, let us know. We'll work with you because we want to be a critical part of the show. So yes, thank you to Red, and thank you to Road to Stardom. Thank you to Pastor Love and everybody else that checked in today. Thanks to anybody else that's going to check us on the flip side. When you get the Big Mike going on. And if y'all have any comments, be sure to leave them in our messengers. Of course, you can reach us that way. But you can also reach us, at the world famous Nighthawk Network Gmail, which is nighthNetwork313@gmail.com. Again, that is nighthNetwork313.com. With that being said, we're about to wrap it up. We'll be back next Wednesday, Lord willing, with another Game Time Audible, talking about all the good stuff that happened between now and then. Until then, y'all be blessed, be safe. War is stupid. Prayers for the Ukraine. And what you got on the way out, Hugh?
Y'all have a blessed night. Hope y'all see us again, man. Stay tuned.
Absolutely. So that being said, we gone, y'all.
Peace.
Game Time Audible is a Nighthawk Network.